What's good, YouTube? It's Rpo. So in today's video, I want to show you guys how to destroy every single version of man coverage using these plays found in gun doubles, Y flex, offset formation. So if you enjoyed this video, go and drop a like on the video right now. Go ahead and sub and turn those post notifications on. So let's go in and dive right into this video, man. So at first, I thought about doing a full scheme, but I only wanted to focus on man coverage this video because that's pretty much all my last two opponents gave me. So that's why I'm only focusing on man coverage, because apparently that's all you're going to get when you run this formation online. So as far as personnel, you want to have slot apprentice. So that is the only thing that matters, and I suggest putting slot apprentice in this position right here, and that's why I'm using the Vikings. So there's maybe like two other teams, I believe, where you can get a slot apprentice right here. I believe no, three actually, I think. But anyway, just put a slot apprentice there, and I like my two fast receivers on the outside, so that's why I have Justin Jefferson and D.D. Westbrook, who has like 92 speed. So audibles. So for the audibles, I like having PA Read, Vikings Y Cross, Rpo Read Flat, and of course inside zone. So the play that you want to come out in is going to be this Vikings double post. So let's actually go to dollar right here, and then let's just go to man coverage up top. So now normally what most people will do is they'll actually put the man coverage on, either they'll do speed or they'll do overall. Most of the time they do overall, so I actually have it on overall right now. So what normally would happen is, especially since Adam Thielen's is slow, so if they had it on speed, then that means Jair wouldn't be on him anyways, and this is a really focal point right here with slot apprentice. So there's a lot of different setups I am about to give you, and the gameplay is going to be at the end of the video, and it's going to be about a minute long, like real condensed, just showing you every single thing I'm about to show you. So yeah, let's go and get right into it. So for the first setup, what I love to do is, and also I'm gonna show you that you don't really need slot apprentice for all these setups, just a couple of them that, you know, work really good. But I promise I'm about to get into it. So for this first setup, you want to take triangle and put him on a post just like this. You want to take square, put him on a streak or a fade, whichever one you want. I'm putting them on a fade just because. And now from here, you want to take circle, put them on a zig, and then you want to go ahead and motion them across. Now your reads are really simple on this. You're really just looking for circle first if they're shading over the top. But if they aren't shading over the top, you're still looking for X, or you're going to be able to look for triangle right there. And I do actually want to quickly hop into replay, then I'm going to run the same thing, because I want to show you that this tight end route does get open. Now, I am on all Madden practice mode, so it's gonna look like it's not open, but in game you're gonna see me throw this ball, and it does definitely get open. But you can tell he sticks his foot in the ground right here, and a lot of times he's gonna run away from that guy, and he has 86 speed, so you want somebody who can actually run away from the defender. But you can actually throw this ball up in here and get a nice possession catch animation. You see how he kind of got him boxed out, so you can definitely throw that against man cover. So we have one read right here. We have this post route, which has to be, you know, zone dropped or user guarded. So already, you know, we have two things that's going to make it to where your opponent's going to have to zone drop. And if they're not shading over the top, then if they're not shading over the top, you have a chance, depending on who your cornerback is, or who your receiver / cornerback matchup is, you have a chance. And that's if they're not putting, you know, purple. So if they were putting like a purple over here, then of course, you know, we would throw that basically, because that safety just would not be there. So that's one of my favorite setups. Now, another one of my favorite setups that I really love, and don't worry, I'm gonna start dropping purples and kind of explaining to you what to do after that. So for my next setup, you want to take square, put them on a streak. I like to take triangle, put them on a crosser, excuse me. Then I like to take circle, put them on a drag, and then normally I like to just motion them across. Now if I do this setup, I'll take R1, put them on an option route just like this, and a lot of times what's going to happen is that this is going to turn into an out route. So we're basically going to have just a double out route. Oh wait, no, that's not right, my bad, I'm thinking about zone. So in that scenario, you just want to block your running back. You never want to have two players running in the same exact spot. That's my fault. So let's go and set that up again. So take square, put them on a streak, take triangle, put them on a crosser. You want to go ahead and take X right here, actually leave X alone, go ahead and motion circle over, put them on a drag, and then block your running back. So that's going to be the best setup right here, and it's basically just the same thing. It's just if they zone drop for the post, then you can actually have that crosser just a little deeper. So that's basically why I like it, just because they're ran at different depths. And also, speaking of ran at different depths, there's actually a couple things you can do too. So you can take triangle, put them on a slant, take square, put them on a streak, and then you can actually motion this guy across too and actually put him on a zig route just like this. And basically what this is going to do is just get our slant a little bit more open. So you can tell we basically want to mess with their purples pretty much. So if they're putting their purples to account for the post route, then I actually want to come back with a slant. And if they're putting purple to account for the slant, then I may just put a crosser so it's ran a little deeper. So you can tell we're basically manipulating them. So if they play like this style of coverage of defense, they will be basically screwed where they just kind of play like this. And the reason why is just because they have too much to worry about. So if they're playing a coverage like this, more than likely if they're smart, they're going to shade over the top, and then you're going to have circle just, you know, he's normally going to always cook his man whenever you do that. Going to get your nice little rack animation, and you get about, you know, maybe 5-6 plus yards honestly just on that. So that's one of my favorite setups when it comes to as far as man coverage. And I believe there is one more that I wanted to give you, but I can't remember it right now, so let's go ahead and move forward. So next play we're going to talk about is going to be the Vikings Y Cross. So with this play right here, it's great stock. It is great stock. So one adjustment I like to make is take R1 and actually put him on an option route. So like I said, against man coverage, he's actually going to run an out route, which beats man. So we actually have almost every route on the field that could beat man coverage. So if they're playing a stock man coverage, I want to show you just what I was talking about. So R1 breaks out, and a lot of times you can have circle right there on the in route. You always want to make sure you low ball that. Do not throw a regular pass on that. And let me quickly hop into replay and just kind of, you know, talk to you why. So this is, like I said, it's a simple setup. So he's going to have to be responsible for the running back, right? So if he does not guard this route, you'll be able to throw it. And even if, you know, we have a safety right there, you can tell it's just a really good route. It's designed to beat man coverage. And you can honestly just, you know, complete a lot of passes just dumping it down right there, especially if they're putting their purples like all the way out here to account for that post that we were doing. Then we'll just have this all day, and we know in routes beat man coverage. Now, what's really good about this is that, you know, crossers beat man coverage too. So if you have a really good tight end right here, this offense is going to be so dominant for you. And, you know, of course, we can still throw that real easily if they don't have nobody out there. So real quick, I'll set that up again, and I'll actually throw that tight end route for you. And then I'm actually going to show you a couple more setups I like, because you want to have as many man-beating setups as possible. And I may do a part 2 where I talk about zones, but for right now, I really only want to talk about man coverage. So I'm going to leave it stock right now. Actually, I'm going to put that guy in the spot just to kind of simulate the user kind of chilling in the middle, because normally that's what's going to happen if they play a style like this, and you'll just look between well, first, let me just go ahead and hit X right there. And I know it looks like, you know, like I said, it's all Madden practice mode, so I promise you, in-game, all pro-wise, you're going to be able to complete that every single time. And, you know, one of my favorite setups. So, next thing I actually want to talk about is going to be this Rpo Read Flat. Now, for some reason, they actually do not cover the tight end. I wonder if they do in practice mode. Yep, so they actually don't in practice mode too. So for whatever reason, if they run man coverage, especially a man blitz, you'll have that tight end open literally every single time. So let me actually just simulate a man blitz right here. So let's just say they did something, you know, like this, where they did just a man blitz, you know. Let's actually shade over the top. And for whatever the reason, they actually do, I think they have to pass commit to even have a chance of covering that tight end. So just kind of watch what happens. So he kind of gets sucked down right there, and then you normally have a wide open person, and you get a little truck animation. Then a lot of times you can actually just turn that and get more yards. And that's why I said it's crazy how consistent that is. So I'll show you one more time that it is pretty consistent, and it's one of my favorite things to mix in, because they actually have to go user guard that for whatever reason. Like I said, it's because they don't pass commit. That's why that works like that. Now you have to be careful throwing it, because sometimes you can't throw it out of bounds. It's really best when they're all out blitz, and that's when I really love to use that. So one thing I was going to talk about, so also, you know, you can still keep it with your quarterback too, so you can still make a read and then try to turn it up, but right there obviously I shouldn't. And it's more of a zone base where that works out good, but in man coverage you always want to look for that tight end. So one thing I do want to test out real quick is what if we pass commit. I believe pass commit will take it away, so I just pass committed. Let's actually go back to it. Let's pass commit again since I audible. There we see. Yep, so you see how he goes out there now? So that's just what you have to look for. So make sure you pay very close attention to that. So if you notice they're pass committing, then I would probably just recommend after that just run the ball, because let's say they pass committed and you notice that they did. So I would just come back honestly and just run the ball, honestly, because it's supposed to get weak. Like, it's supposed to be easier to run the ball and then pass commit, supposed to, but you never know. But that's just how you can play those mind games with them. So last thing I actually want to talk about real quick is actually PA read. So I saved this for last for a reason, and the reason why is because if they start, they're gonna have to start playing a defense like this where they start zone dropping. So let's say they had like let's say they wanted to put this one at like, you know, 20 or something to take away your cross, and they want to put this one at 10 to take away like slants or anything. So let's say this, you know, something like this, right? And they're saying, okay, I'm gonna use it in the middle. Now this is where I love to come to this concept. So let me actually spy him in the middle, and what I base everything off of is this route right here. So if you have, you know, your best receiver or your fastest receiver, make sure you put him right here in this position. And what I like to do with triangle, I like to actually put him on a post or a crosser. It all depends. So let's say a crosser, and I will take X, put him on a slant, and I'll take circle a lot of times and just put him on either a streak, or I may just take him, put him on an in route just to get him out the way, and I'll take my running back right here, put him on an option route. So basically all I'm doing is just moving everybody. So it's just a simple read basically. So I'll look for the slant, because what the user will most likely do is they'll follow the slant for half a second, and they're going to come back to triangle, but we're looking at square over the top the whole entire time. So let me just kind of, you know, stop talking and actually show you guys. So square can actually beat his man over the top. Now, that's one thing you have to be careful of. So that's why sometimes I don't like the crossers, just because they actually can run into each other. So let me make sure I show you that. But like I said, all Madden practice mode plays a tiny bit differently. In game, I've never found that player actually played it like that. And plus, in game, if the user is nowhere near here, then this is definitely a read to make 10 out of 10 times, you know, if they don't have nobody right there. But that's one thing you got to be careful of, because I was trying to pass lead this ball up, and he was actually able to circle off. So if you want to avoid that, then just simply don't have nobody run that deep. So what I would do is, if you're really, really nervous about that, then I would actually just take triangle. You can still put them on a post, and then you can take X, put them on a slant, and you can take circle, put them on a streak, take R1, put them on an option route, or you could do double slants if you want to. I normally don't like double slants. They just don't seem to work for me that well, but they definitely are viable, and I'll show you that here. So if you didn't want to put your slot apprentice, so you can put double slants, and I am just getting hollered at, and I forgot to spot purples. This game is crazy. So let me make sure I put my purples out there, because you never want to call this play if there's not purples out there. So if there's never nobody in the middle of the field, that's when you don't want to call this play. You want to call this play when they have a defense where there's nobody in the middle. You feel like, you know, they're covering all your other routes. This is where you call that play at. So let me just go back to actually PA read. And you can take triangle, put them on a slant. You can take X, put them on a slant. You can do a double slant combo if you don't have any apprentices. But if you have slot apprentice right here, which you should run in this offense, then I would just suggest putting a post. That's normally what I would go to. So let me actually spy somebody else, so I can have just a tiny bit of time, because you'll need time. But like I said, in practice mode, it's really hard to buy time. You can tell Square just getting beat up on the route. That's J. Alexander. So with J. Alexander, it's not really going to be all that great. But see, we still do make a catch, though. So check out the rest of this gameplay.
To throw again on second down. Mon. A throw left side, complete to his receiver, Westbrook. Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. That's caught by the tight ender. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Cousins. And able to get him down. Will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before we get there.
A 2-minute drill before the coach's 2-minute drill.
And able to get it across the... Throwing, Cousins. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And got his man complete. And he will finally... Now Cousins. And he's got this to... Here's Cousins. The open man is Westbrook. Cousins to throw. Throw left side.
But that's gonna wrap it up for this video. And as you guys can see in the gameplay, I was able to, you know, beat them over the top, and I was able to hit the crossers and everything like that. So it's all just about how you scheme it together. But anyways, I hope you guys have a blessed day. I'm Rpo Read Flat, and I'm out.